Hi. Okay. Can you hear me? Excellent. Let's see here. Uh, we got up to last time we should not record. Sorry about that.
Okay, you're recording now.
Yes, I am. Did not turn off the recording. Okay. So we're up to V'od Ki Gamar, which I'm going to put up in the screen as a moment. Um, which in the book is
Trudge.
corpus. Have something, Um, yeah. So it's on page Kufmem Dalid in the book, the third line down. It says Od Ki Amar. Okay, so the Voki Gamar me pumi the Chad Rabba Adi Feodim. So we learn the Mishnayos and Bryce is better than for one Rebbe. I mean, it says Kisok Rebbe Zir Me'acham Megrimta the Rabbi Shmuel. Rebbe Zir went up to Eretz Yisrael. He ate from an animal which, according to Rabbi Shmuel, evidently was not a Magrimisa. Um, in other words, it's not because it was one absul in shchita. No, he ate with something Rav Shmuel was a mugremis, was puzzle, was treif. Amalei said, "V'lam me asked them Rav Shmuel. Aren't you from the town of Rav Shmuel?" Amalei said, "Man Amara." So he said, "Who said it over the name Rav Shmuel? Rav Shmuel." Relates to Barchia. Yes, Barchia. Mikuli Amagagami. Yes, Barchia learned from many people his statements. This was not even a statement of a Mishnah or a Brisa. It was a statement of an Amoira of Rav Shmuel. Shem Rav Yosef Ikbet. So Rav Yosef heard and got upset. Yosef Barchia is the main Rav Yosef in the Gemara. I said, Kuli Amagarmina. I learned from everybody out of me, Rav Yehuda Garmina. I learned from Rav Yehuda. That feels fake or the Gavre Goris. Even when he had a suffix, he would say over that he's not sure he heard it from them. Rabbi Yirmiyah, Rabbi Yirmiyah, Rabba, and suffix which made the Rav, suffix which made the Shmuel. It was not clear. We said name of Rav, name of Shmuel. Shlosh Matias Abchor Mokum Shem Mumche. Three people in Matir Bechor where there's no Mumche. But you see, in any event, that Rabbi Zeir is criticizing people who learn from many people, and Rabbi Yosef is not responding, saying that's fine from many people. He's saying not true. I learned from Rabbi Yehuda, who actually was very meticulous in his Masorah. Where all the rabbis say something said without attribution. Attribution is only necessary where there's a difference of opinion. And this manner, the Talmud became greater generation of generation. Every generation had its stuff from Svekas, which were new to them. Umasim and stories, the mikbelu, and question which arose for that to them. There's a case in where it says in Sanhedrin, it says Rab Kana Rav Safra learning Sanhedrin has a Rabba Pagabel Ryan Bachama Racham Metem Amlusu My Amrisu Sanhedrin Be Rabba. What do you say in the Sanhedrin of Rabba? So the of Amrullah they said my meeting Sanhedrin greater. They said back to him, well they say it's Sanhedrin not Nasa Rabba, the Kula Shmaitza and the all the I think we find many places similar things, as we mean to say. So in any event, the point is that we stuff kept on being added on the from generation to generation. V'doku damid yuke, and they also made inferences. V'avan the mosifin mechachim rabbanim asor. The things you add on the later rabbis. Lav the law of yadin lu rabbanim kamoy. It's not that the previous rabbis did not know this. Ella the shavkin l'dar the asrei asi basrei. They let their generations which were coming after them these gedurei bone to make their own mark with it. So last week when we went over this the first time, we said that this entire paragraph can be learned in two different ways. One is that the earlier rabbis deliberately left things to the later rabbis to make their mark, and they didn't get involved with them. And the other is that HaKadosh Baruch Hu was the one who brought that about, so the later generations will be able to make their mark, and it can be learned either way, as we shall see. But my assumption was the fact that it says not that the early rabbis didn't know them, that they knew them, and they deliberately felt it's not for us. We don't have to concern ourselves with this. It's not our issue this generation. Let other generations make it part of the Talmud for their time. But again, I think the printed for the screen version and maybe the text version do learn that it is something which which was from Shamayim. I don't remember if the text version had that. Okay, so name it.
Question. So at this point, were they writing stuff down, or all this was still oral? I mean,
it's still
there
oral.
Knowledge that they were building a Talmud.
Yes, there was no official written text. They were still presumably sharing and the statements and making them formalized in a way which the people who are the experts would know and be able to serve as a resource, but nothing was formally written.
So that didn't happen until Ravina and Ashi, basically?
Well, we don't know yet. But we'll have to see when we get there, but so he doesn't say anywhere here that things are written down yet.
Okay.
I'm sure things got written down, but not as a formal corpus.
Right. Okay.
That's why he said in the previous page, you had Sanhedrin debate Rabbah and Sanhedrin Stam, right? There's different versions, and it expanded. So there's these good the people, the world does not need them during their days. Come Rabbana, like Rabbana say, hey, Rabbi Yeshua ben Zaron ben Chamim Rabbi Meir, the brother-in-law of Rabbi Meir said, Lifnei Rebbe, for Rebbe or Meir She'acha Ola Shel Yerek Beishan. Rabbi Meir ate a leaf of a vegetable in Beishan without taking Trumas and Maisav. Piti Rebbe Beishan Kula, and Rebbe printed all Beishan al Yodo on his account. Chavalav Achibu Beisabi Amalo Mokom Shavosecha Vavosa Nogo Beister Tadin Hogbo Heter. So he said, what do you mean? Your fathers and your forefathers, they said this place is usher. And you can't eat without Trumas Maisis. You're going to make it mutter. Darshlam Amikra Zeh, he dashed them this pasuk. V'chiteis Nachoshe so Moshe. Chizkiyahu HaMelech destroyed the copper snake which Moshe made. Kara Yomi Mohem, until that day, Hayu B'nei Som Makashilov Gekrol Nechushtan. They would sacrifice to it sacrifices and call it Nechushtan. Efshar Ba'asab Lo Biro, Bo Yoshav Lo Biro, V'lo Kol Avodah Zarah Shmered So, Asab Yoshav B'Yar Room. They destroyed all Avodah Zarah. Here it sounds more like it's min shamayim. Obviously, that somehow this Avodah Zarah escaped Asa and Yehoshaphat, and this is left for Chizkiyahu. It's possible to say differently. It's possible to say that they aware of it, but did not think it had been such a tremendous problem in their time. So that's why they left it. But in any event, so he's got there. To take care of it. So too, my forefathers left me a place to make my mark in the world. But here we also have So this is Rabbi Yeshua ben Zorus here. Rabbi Yeshua ben Zodan, it says here. So we never reject something which a Talmud said. We don't forsake it. Some say we don't remove it. We don't out of pride reject him. So Amora'im as nichin also the ksibla kli nachlo Hashem. God will not forsake forever. Amora'im as zichos ksibla yizacha koshen. We related yesterday. The koshen should not be displaced, dislocated. Amora'im as chinos k'nam mishu rabuz chuchei alev. Once it became haughty people, rabba machlokas misrael. There became many machlokas in Am Yisrael. So it's true. L'mayda b'yisu. And this is an answer to that which you asked. The people asked if Shira Gaon. Why did the earlier generations leave much for the later generations? The Mishkachtu Dover Mufla. You find an amazing thing, a tremendous Kiddush. The Amru Basroi, it was said by the later generations, Kamoy Shafkuluhun, the earlier generations left it, the Iskaduri Bahon, that they should mark with it. I'm pushing Nami Be'ilan Mile, and to expand also with these words, the Itvasu B'Tamuda, Dora B'Sadora, with which the Talmud is expanded generation after generation to Tuvaika. There are many of them. Kidarmina, like we said. Shvamia boy boiled dog Bachitova Migla Perech Bavir. There are 700 questions which Tevel asks about a tower which flies in the air, and there are many different interpretations of this. He doesn't bring down the text; he brings down the interpretations. Yeah, on page Kuf Nun. Rashi Shem Page Kama Funny Matam Kuv one is Aleph Matam Kuva Mesel Yosh Oslam Klapi Mata. Why does the chupchik on top of the lamed bend down at its left edge? Beizim Yesh Tumas Eretz Arm in the Mishnah Nichnas Lam Rekava Suya. Is there too much? Does somebody come to Kava Suya? Sounds like a word missing there. If there, I think maybe it's supposed to be Kasuya, covered wagon. And if somebody enters Eretz Yisrael in a wagon, and Gimel Shelos goes Klias Midal Avir Aidek Shofim. Questions about sorcery and witchcraft. Dalit, not interpretation. Shelos Apesh Mishim Mishul Yemes Osex Midal Avir Avir. There's a certain type of vessel which is, I guess, on stilts or something, and what its status is for Tumantara. Okay, it's interesting. It brings down here a little bit further in the brackets. That clearly, even though they ask halachic questions about it in terms of Tumantara, it was hovering in the air as a miracle. I guess today it would be the same issues we have by jet planes. That when they fly over the
cemeteries.
Cemeteries, yes. Okay, so so Gemara says, Omar Rava, Gevurta mi boy. So I have to respond to quickly. Somebody just sent me it's only about 3:30. Second. Okay, so Amar Rava Geburtin by Bune. Is it a big deal to ask such questions? In other words, the question was, if there was such big time, how they go awry, how lose the chelik on the mabah? And the Gemara says that it's not a big deal to ask lumdisha questions. That's not what a Kodesh Baruch Hu wants necessarily. The years of Rav Yehuda, all they learned was nizakin. I'm sorry, back in the didn't go back to the screen. And we learned 4 Sidorim. Which exactly 4 Sidorim they learned? He says in the text, he says there was Moed Nachim Nezikin and Kachim, which is Talmud Bavli. But that's hard to say because the question they're about to raise is the question of taros. So it seems that they learn taros. So it's not clear which exactly four term they're referring to. So Rabbi Yehuda, it was earlier generation. When he got to a woman who was pickling a vegetable in a pot, some say it was about olives which were pickled with their stems, tohirim, that they're tar. If their stems touch something tame, your vegetables indicate tame themselves. He said, "Avaya the Rav Shmuel kachazinon." He said, "I see here the issues of Rav Shmuel. We are 13 masiftas just to learn uktzit. Rabbi Yehuda when he just took off his shoe, it rained. But we cause us tremendous anguish in our fasts. Nobody pays attention to us. Well, Kosh Baruch Hu wants the heart. He's not interested in tremendous lumps. So in any event, the point is nobody recorded those things which Doeg and Avchitov were involved in. So evidently things which are not nitzuchul directed that, or I shouldn't say things which were just hypotheticals, right? Because Mida Brech Ba'avir, most of the questions are hypothetical, no matter which way you slice it. So therefore, why bother recording it? It's a fascinating idea. I don't think we hold that way anymore. But the idea is that this is not Lamaisa, so nobody bothered recording it. If they knew it, but why bother? Later on, if it ever came Lamaisa, so someone would reopen the issue, and doesn't mean the other generations didn't deal with it. The other generations didn't have to record it for posterity. Okay? Therefore, itvasva hara dora b'dora ad Ravina. So generation to generation, they added on until Ravina. Ubasar Ravina, Ifsaka. After Ravina, it stopped. It was an amazing statement, which Gemara makes, that in Bava Metzia, that Pei Vav and Aleph, that Shmuel was much earlier than Ravina Rabashi. And it says that Shmuel, the astronomer, who was our Shmuel, was would be the end of the Gemara, so Horo'oh, right? Saravina Imska Kirchaz Shmuel Yerchai, but the Sifrit Armishon, he saw say for Armishon Dava Ksiv Be Ashi Vavina so Horo'oh. Okay, so the here he says, if you take a look at the bottom on the screen, so for Sofka Amora'im, Adimim Loisa Gemara La Seder. Actually, Shayla Nishels Batam Mishnah Beis HaMedrash. O Shayla Maaseh Amorah Badin Mamon O Yisur Ve'ater. Kol Chad Ve'achad Omer Talamo. So you see clearly that it wasn't written down, right? Mm-hmm. It was collected, but it wasn't in the formal text. Kol Maraviv Ravashi Ravina Sidru Shmuel Amora'im. Shelifneim, they arranged it. Kovo al Seder Mesechtos, they arranged according to Seder Mesechtos. Kol Echad Ve'achad Eitza Mishnah Ruya V'Shnuya Lo. They each went according to by the Mishnah, which was appropriate. And they added on questions which you should respond to. Questions you should ask, I guess, and answers you should give. Hey, Amora'im Shemaim. They and Amora'im in their generation. Kavu Akol B'Gemara. They bet everything Gemara. Going Eisvei, Meisvei, Raminu, Iboilu. But the Rutzim Shaleim. And all the answers upon them. That which was left over earlier generations. But some Sharmuliv Neam Kushas Terutim Shalem Lokabun Gemara. I'll say them Mesechtos. But Mishnah Shti Rebbe, those who they had a Masorah, that they had asked questions and responded. Now came Bo Ravashi Ravina Kvaum. Ravina Ravashi came and fixed them. Formalize them. Thank you. Rabbeinu Farah he says that Rav Shiro is not expressed like Rashi, but Aravash Ravina Kol Moreh Chol Achlok Amoracher. To me, Rashi any Amora could argue. I feel Amora Muchar Mucholek Amora Me'ador Rishon. Al-Chomish Shabador Shachir Ravash Ravina Einam Yechlim Achlok Amora'im. They can't argue in the Ravaim. Behind Mikri Bali Arah. They're called Bali Arah. Behind Lo Mikri Bali Arah V'lo Chashiv Gabayu, and they're not significant. So I don't know if I buy that because the generations of transition were always iffy. right? It's hard to say that it meant this is the definitive cutoff point, but that's what he wants to say. In the printed text, he says, on page Kuf Nun Alf, the bottom, Fiti B'Rev Rashir Gon Atzma Kaman Ravina Bar Avhuna, Shniftar before 99 the Sfiras and Noitzrim. V'lo Ravina Chavei Yosher Ashi, B'dor Chamisham Aroim, which is pretty shocking. Okay, so it's not the Ravina which was defended Ravashi, it was an earlier Ravina. No, actually, I think a later Ravina. Not our Ravina, it's a later Ravina. Okay. Es Ros Rabo Shiftar Obachai Rabba. Yeah, like it says here, Shiftar Obachai Rabashi. Es Ros Rabo Shoshrim Vnei Ravina Sheni. So Ravina Rabashi Sofara, according to him, would mean much later than actually, decades later than our Ravina. Because our Ravina lived at pre-deceased Ravashi. Okay, I'm not sure it makes such a difference to us, but that is the that's what he says. Let's turn the page in the text. He says Horo'oh, Zosameres Psak Halacha Talmudi. Amnam, Lo Barakla Makavana between Sof Horo'oh. Ben Direi B'Shir Gon Ben Talmud. What does this mean? Hamnosenu Mivuses Al Harava Levi Doros Rishonim. Krachei. The Fidbarav Im Tom Tkufas Amora'im. He says that when very finished, Kibul Doros Rabim as Masoros Amora'im Kimusmeches, Muskomos, Umechayvos. They are agreed upon and they are, what's the word?
Obligating.
Obligated, thank you. Hemigish Shalem Mishus sounds very much like the guy, like the screen. They can't even change the literary style. These developments were the primary, were the expression of the end of the period of the Amora'im. The Sofara between Pulas Chasimas Talmud means the Talmud was signed. Ravashi Hamassad Rabba Chosim. He arranged and concealed it. But Munach Mechuban Klaudom Ravashi Ravina. Who was the general of that generation? Shachrom Bohemaya Ravina Barbun. In other words, it wasn't that the cutoff point was not hard and fast, but it was, and went on after Ravashi's death, evidently. And we find also Gemara. Ravashi's kids are there and discussing things prominently. So it went on evidently to Ravina Barbuna. The Sofra Dorahu. But he said, even he says, at some point it came to an end. And that's it. Talmud. Several researchers have said this. They say, it was a Talmud Dora beside Dora, Uben it was a Ra beside Horo'oh. In other words, there's no, he himself, Rabbi Rabinowitz, wanted to say it was the difference between it was a Horo'oh and it was a Talmuda. And that he said back on page where was that? Yeah, on page Kuf Mem Vav. He said, "Yes, trying to kan lokomosh Shara Perak, Misham Misham Talmud Kom Gemara. Rabbi Reina was so Perak Dimasko Rosh. If you want about the Rishoni, we call Krim Rabim. No, so she should go to the station of them and Diva should go kan. It was a Talmud was Dora beside Dora. For so Perak the Fumach, it was a Horo'oh Dora beside Dora. My name is Rusmi Ab and Talmud Horo'oh. Vein to Miskabel Adas Klau. Brad Misham should go and be Makon Cher Makskish and Mishra Chol. B'moy sof Horo'oh b'statim Talmuda. So Rabbi Benowitz does not have an explanation. But he says he thinks there's a difference between Talmud and Horo'oh. But most sources don't distinguish. They say so Horo'oh and Sof Talmud are the same thing. Okay, so this is the end of Horo'oh. I just want to take a sneak peek at the beginning of the next parak, which here is in the middle of a paragraph, right? Ubasar hachi afagav devade hara lo habis havike perushim savroi kroim l'kara mikro ina rabbanon savroi. So there are korov lehara. Okay, so the it's hard to say what exactly it means. In the printed text, he's not clear exactly what the difference between hara and korov lehara. I think it means that, like we said, that the boundary is not hard and fast. That's my impression. In other words,
Mhm.
anytime you have that kind of judgment, it's not a clean. There's no clean break, right? So it's like nobody would argue today in Shulchan Aruch, but at some point people do argue left and right and left in the Shulchan Aruch. It's not so. I think that's what he means. The krovin l'ra means that they like we say Rav Tano Polig, right? So this they're krovin l'ra. But anyway, we'll leave it for next time, and we'll figure out what's going on with that. Okay,
Okay.
very good. Shkoyach.
Shkoyach. Purim Sameach.
Have a good Purim. Take care.
Bye.